Hi everyone, welcome to this underused battle, Wimzor The Great versus Gloomy. Gloomy leads with Haunter and I lead with my Ambipom. So Ambipom won't be able to do a lot of damage against the ghost type, so I decide to use U-turn right away. And I like to switch to a Pokémon who can probably resist Haunter's attacks. And I send out my Miss Magius because I didn't expect Haunter to be using a ghost type attack against a normal type Pokémon. And he tries to pull off a hypnosis attack, which was quite surprising because I didn't expect it. So I'm lucky the attack misses, and I go for the Shadow Ball, but he switches to his Regice, which takes the Shadow Ball easily with his 200 base stats and special defense, as you can see. So now I have to figure something out to defeat his Regice, and I decide to switch to Moltres and try to get a Fire Blast in. So there goes Miss Magius, sending Moltres. And now my Regice attacks with Hammer Arm, and my Moltres takes the Hammer Arm easily. And I predict he's going to switch into something that resists fire attacks, so probably another fire type Pokemon or maybe a water type Pokemon. But I still keep the Fire Blast in, just to see what happens. And he sends out his water type Pokemon Blastoise. But my Fire Blast, because of Life Orb damage and max IV special attack, takes away still a decent amount of damage from his Blastoise. So Blast is almost half down, and I'm very lucky here because he's also suffering a burn, otherwise I wouldn't be able to defeat him with just 2 attacks. So I decide to use Fire Blast once again. It would have taken him down if he stayed in. We'll see what happens. But my opponent switches to Ninetales, which absorbs the Fire Blast attack because of his special ability of Flash Fire. So now he's boosted with Fire Move, but well, it's not a big problem because my Moltres can take fire attacks easily. Ninetales outspeeds Moltres and uses Dark Pulse, but I use my Ancient Power attack, which is super effective against fire types, and that almost takes out Ninetales. And I was hoping I was getting a stat boost out of it, but I don't. Maybe during the next turn. So Ninetales, well, my opponent decides to stay in with Ninetales. He uses Dark Pulse once again. My Moltres takes it quite nicely, and I use Ancient Power to defeat his Ninetales. So only 4 more to go with Ninetales down. And this time I do get a stat boost. And now I expect him to be using his Blastoise, but he doesn't. He sends out his Nidoking. So I switch to my Rhyperior, predicting a Thunderbolt here, but surprisingly enough, immediately after switching to his Nidoking, he switches to his Blastoise. So maybe he switched to the wrong Pokemon at first. So he sends out his already weakened Blastoise, and I switch to my Sceptile because obviously I don't want to take the Surf attack to one-hit KO my Rhyperior. So here's Sceptile, and I was right, he's going to use a Surf attack. My Sceptile, being a grass type Pokemon, takes a Surf attack quite nicely. And now I predict he's going to switch once again, because he doesn't want to get KO'd from a grass type attack. So I decide to go for a Dragon Pulse now, which will hit quite nicely against most Pokemon in the UU environment. And I was right, he switches and it does a nice amount of damage to his Heracross, which is actually an OU Pokemon. So the Dragon Pulse, well, almost kills Heracross, and in the second turn I outspeed him, so I can attack again. And well, there goes Heracross. So far so good. So now my opponent goes back to his Nidoking probably, or maybe his Regice to take out a nice attack, and I decide to switch to my Rhyperior when I see he's going for Nidoking, because I expect he was going to use a Thunderbolt attack, and well, he does. I was right. So my Rhyperior takes his Thunderbolt attack, and he switches to Blastoise, which I can take out easily with one Earthquake attack. So only 3 more Pokemon left for him. His lead Haunter, the special defense wall Regice and Nidoking. So I expected to send out this Nidoking now. Nidoking is faster than my Rhyperior, so I expected him is going to use an Earthquake here, which my Rhyperior would have taken easily with his high defense, but I was quite surprised because his Nidoking didn't use Earthquake, he uses a special type move, Earth Power, and I really hoped it wouldn't take out my Rhyperior in one hit because Rhyperior lacks special defense, so I kept my fingers crossed, and as you can see, my Rhyperior survived with only 12 hit points left, which is absolutely fantastic. So now I can use my own Earth type attack to take out Nidoking, most likely with one hit. And then it's down to only 2 more Pokemon. And I still got all my 6 Pokemon left. So I expect my opponent to send out his Regice now to use an Ice Beam. Well, we'll see what happens. So Nidoking goes down, 2 more Pokemon to go. And I expect Regice now. But Gloomy goes for his lead Hunter. So I guess he's going to use a Shadow Ball. So I switch to my Milotic, which is quite a bulky Pokemon because of his high hit points and pretty decent special defense, to take the Shadow Bolt quite nicely. And I decide to go for a Surf Attack, hoping I can still outspeed a Hunter. But he decides to switch to his Regice, the special wall, to take the Surf Attack nicely. Now if your opponent decides to switch to a Regice when you're using a water type Pokemon, you should know he's going to use an electric type attack of some sort, so I switch back to my Rhyperior to take what will probably is going to be his Thunderbolt. And because Regice lacks speed, he has even less speed than a Rhyperior, I can outspeed him and use my own fighting move, Hammer Arm, which is super effective against ice types. And yes, he uses Thunderbolt, so great prediction from my part. And now I can take him out with my Hammer Arm. I predicted Regice was not going to faint of just one Hammer Arm, and I was right, as you will see. So I thought this would be the end of my Rhyperior, kinda suicide attack. But strangely enough, Regice doesn't use an ice attack. He uses fighting move Hammer Arm, which is an attack move and not a special attack move. And because Regice lacks offensive power, my Rhyperior survives the attack with only 7 hit points left. And now it's easy to take him out with an Earthquake. So now it's down to his last Pokemon. And I still got all my Pokemon left. So it'll be quite easy to take out Hunter, because I still got my Mismagius, I still got my Choice Spec Sceptile, I got my Lotic, which is a special wall for me. And my Rhyperior takes out Regice here. And Gloomy has to send out his last Pokemon, which is Hunter. I expected him to be using a Shadow Ball to finish off my Rhyperior, so I decided to switch to my Ambipom, a normal type Pokemon, which will take the Shadow Ball without suffering any damage. But he uses a Hypnosis attack, and this time the attack does hit, so my Ambipom falls asleep, and I switch to Sceptile to take his, what's going to be probably his Thunderbolt attack, and well, that's pretty much the game, because now my Sceptile takes the Thunderbolt attack quite easily, and he'll outspeed the Hunter and take him out with Dragon Pulse. So good battle, Gloom, and thank you all for watching this. Until next time, see ya!